Gobble, gobble, gobble. Well, Thanksgiving is upon us, but that doesn't mean hockey stops with the Lake Forest men's hockey team. They had an off weekend last weekend. Last time we saw them on the ice, they grabbed their first win of the season, 8-1 over Lawrence on the road. This weekend, they welcome non-conference opponent St. Mary's into town. I'm Cam McGuire, the voice of Lake Forest hockey, and coming up next, I'll be joined by head coach Pat Keller. Coach, we're sitting right now in the rink lobby in front of all the trophies that have been achieved on the ice. This season, you guys are partaking in Movember. Obviously, you can see our probably ugly mustaches, but the team's raised a lot of money for a good cause this year.
Yeah, it was just something that I think some of the guys came to me about, and it's a good cause. It's to raise awareness for men's health issues, and I think it's a fun way for a group of guys to get together and support something that like you mentioned, is for a good cause. All the proceeds go to fighting cancer, and so it's a way, I think, for a group of guys that look somewhat goofy, but for a good cause, and it also creates strikes up a lot of conversations with people that kind of wondering why all of a sudden you have this mustache growing. But it's been fun, and the guys have been having a good time with it. So
awesome. Let's go back on the ice. You guys had an off weekend last weekend, but last time you guys were on the ice as a team in a game setting, a big 8-1 win over Lawrence. That was a much-needed win, and especially to put pucks in the back of the net.
Yeah, certainly a little bit later in the year than we would have liked, but it was a good win, and anytime you score 8 goals, you got multiple things going right. But I think for the team, it was good mentally. We needed that win for sure, and I think it showed what kind of team we can be. And when you're struggling offensively like we had been the previous few weeks, sometimes it just takes one game like that to kind of get you set back on the right track.
Well, 8 of those goals, half of them came on the power play and 9 opportunities. Let me ask you, how much time during the week do you guys emphasize on special teams, not only on the power play but also the penalty kill?
Yeah, it's funny actually. The first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, I mean, we were working special teams pretty much every day because then we know how important it is to get off to a good start. Unfortunately, it didn't necessarily happen that way. Special teams the first few weeks. And then once we kind of get into the season, once or twice a week, depending, we'll work special teams too. But Coach O'Malley's done a really good job meeting with the guys, doing video with power play groups. And then it comes down to the guys executing too. And they did a really nice job in that game on Saturday against Lawrence. We had some pretty good looks in some previous games, and they just went in that night. So.
Well, 6 guys that night. They had multi-point nights, couple big nights, 4-point performance from Braun Loisel, a 3-point night from Ryan Krust. But obviously the off weekend last weekend, how do you make sure the guys come into this week ready to go for this upcoming weekend?
Well, first I think the off weekend, we've had a few injuries, had some guys banged up, so we're really hopeful that everybody is back today, full go, 100% feeling good. So that's for starters. And, I don't think you can focus too much on weeks gone by. It was great to get that win and score some goals. And this last week, we really tried to nail down a few things that we thought we were struggling with, a few key areas that we think will help us, defensively as a team. And then this week is just getting prepared, feeling good, moving into St. Mary's. So.
Well, obviously it's Thanksgiving weekend. Your household's going to look a little different this year, obviously with your daughter Peyton. But what's a typical Thanksgiving like at the Kelleher household?
It's it depends if we're home or on the road. I think last year we left on Thanksgiving, so we're actually hosting the family this year. So we'll have lots of little ones running around. Peyton's got a bunch of nieces and nephews that are coming over, and aunts and uncles. So just a lot of people eating too much food and having a good time.
All right, well, so St. Mary's obviously on Friday, 7 o'clock for that one. Then Saturday back at 4 o'clock. They're winless this season, 0-7-1. You look at those 8 games, though, 6 of them have come against ranked opponents. It's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think the record is probably not indicative of how they've been playing. They're a good team. We played them a handful of times in the last few years, and they always play hard. They're well coached, and they're obviously, like we were last weekend, a team that's going to be extremely hungry for a win. And teams like that a lot of times are the most dangerous. So we expect them to come out and fight for their lives this weekend. They want to get they want to get a win real bad, just like we do. So it should be a really, really competitive and really exciting weekend.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Cam.
Friday's game will start at 7 p.m. Coverage begins at 6:45, and then Saturday's game at 4 p.m. with coverage starting at 3:45.